Here's an independent perspective you won't find on other channels.
Marjane, arrête de courir.
Regardez, c'est Nyusha là-bas.
Marjane, c'est dingue comme tu as grandi.
Est-ce que tu m'as ramené un cadeau? C'est comment Paris? Tu as vu Bruce Lee? Et la Tour Eiffel, c'est comment?
Bienvenue à Téhéran, ma chérie.
Tu nous as tellement manqué.
Laisse-moi prendre tes bagages.
Non, c'est moi.
Allez, allez, on nous attend.
Je me souviens. À cette époque, je menais une vie tranquille et sans histoire. Une vie de petite fille.
When I was growing up in Iran, we had Tintin and Asterix and this thing, but that was mostly the things that my cousin, male cousin, would read, you know, because you don't have any female character to which you can identify, so it was impossible. The thing was that when I came to France, they gave me for my first birthday that I celebrated in France, they gave me the mouse of Art Spiegelman. And the idea I had about comics is the idea that everybody else has. That means it's a genre, it's not just a media. It's, you know, story for kids or adolescent or retarded adult, being superhero stories. You have the bad on one side, the good on one side. And reading actually Mouse just opened the whole, you know, world for me, because suddenly it was not a genre anymore and it was a media. And so this book being a masterpiece, I was like, wow, this is somehow I can do also. While you read a comic, unlike the literature, you don't have to imagine everything, but you're very active, because between two frames, you have to make the movement yourself. Then I can actually lean on the activity of the reader. Then you're watching a movie in a cinema for 1.5 hours, you are passive. But then, you know, I can lean on other things like the soundtrack. Everybody around the world, they watch movie. There are countries that they never read comic because, you know, they think that it's a genre. But, you know, to write a story like that, I had to be able to have a step back. I had to be more, you know, I had to have distance enough with the story to say it, because, you know, it's nothing worse than, you know, these angry people that they make things and they want revenge and they're full of anger and full of hate and full of these things, you know. Even if there are things that I'm angry with, you should not feel it, you know, because, I mean, it's never a good idea to answer to the anger with anger, to vulgarity by vulgarity, to violence by violence. It's extremely important to take a step back and ask questions instead of trying to find responses.
Qu'est-ce qui se passe?
Je l'avais dit. Je vous l'avais dit. Je l'avais dit. Nous sommes en train de vivre un moment historique.
In West, you know, since 20 years, you know, for breakfast they have Middle East, for lunch they have Middle East, for the afternoon tea they have Middle East, and Middle East is always, you know, like everybody is sad and they're dying and they have a knife between their teeth and they're going to kill the Westerners and all of that. So, you know, it was a way to show the thing a little bit, you know, and the humor helps a lot. I mean, not only humor is a question of intelligence. I mean, people without humor, they're stupid to start with, from my point of view, of course. But humor is also, for me, the height of understanding of the other one. I mean, we cry for the same reason, you know. It's just sufficient to show a mother, you know, with a dying baby, you know, everybody cries. But to be able to make laugh people is not that easy. Plus, you know, the humor that will work everywhere. So, because it's touching the spirit of somebody. But for me, you know, I always say this is a universal movie, you know, everybody can understand, relate to, and understand that the Iranian is just somebody just like them. So when we show the movie in Japan and in Switzerland and in France, in America, here and there, and the moment that I laughed making it, I hear them laughing at the same moment. It's very surprising, but also it gives me lots of faith, you know, in what the human being is about.
Maman, il faut absolument que tu me donnes 50 tomates.
Ah oui? Mais pourquoi faire?
Golnaz m'a dit qu'il y a des mecs qui vendent des cassettes sur l'avenue Gandhi.
Et tes cassettes des Bee Gees?
Mais maman, c'est nul, les Bee Gees, quoi.
Stevie Wonder.
Julio Iglesias.
Pink Floyd. Michael Maxon.
Rouge à lèvres, vernis à ongles, carte à jouer.
Iron Maiden.
Eh, c'est combien pour ça?
100 tomans.
50.
60.
50.
60.
50.
50.
Et toi, c'est quoi cette tenue?
It's a fact that I'm an Iranian, I struggled lots of time defending myself, trying to make people understand, until a point that, I'm Iranian is a fact, I'm born there, I have the face that I have, with the hair that I have, with the eyes that I have, and, nothing is going to change that, never. So this is it. Yes, of course, I try, instead of, making it, look very folkloric and, make Orientalism and say, oh, look how different we are. I try, to just show them the common point, I mean, because they have this idea that, as an adolescent in Iran, really you have the knife between your teeth, just waiting for the moment to go and kill a couple of, Westerners, which is not true. I mean, the fact to understand that, any adolescent in Iran or anywhere, I mean, pop music, everybody likes it. This is it. But, these are things that are so obvious for us, but, ignorance. The problem also is that, a place in America, people, they think that ignorance is a virtue. They think it's a good thing. In Iran, we say, if you are born a donkey and you die a cow, then, what is the purpose of this whole life? It's better to know, rather than not to know. And that is the role of the culture and the art and all of that. That is weapon of mass construction. That is the only thing that might change something, but in long term, of course. When you make a hero, the thing for me is always a question of identification. If you make a hero, I mean, this is not a normal human being. Nobody can be always a hero. You always have your bad side. I mean, the way I describe myself in the movie, is nothing heroic about it. And once in a while I'm really mean, and once in a while I make nasty stuff, like everybody else does. Plus, I mean, the superhero, the most famous of them, is Superman, and he's such a boring person. I mean, this Batman, he's, gay, he comes out in the night, he has his Batmobile, he's all dressed in black, he's mean, he has something. But the Superman with the small curl here, I mean, he's so boring. I am never, in a battle against something. I do the things that I like, and I do them the way I think I should do it. Then it's very surprising when the critics, they follow, and then when people, they follow, I mean, for me, the best prizes that I have had in any festival, that is the audience prize. When people, they like it, I'm very, very pleased, because, of course, I don't make the movie for myself. You make something to be watched. So when the audience respond, and I don't think, and as I say, and I didn't make any compromise. I never say, I'm going to do that to please to this one. I do the things as I like, and I think that is when you enjoy your own work, doing it, that the person who watched it enjoyed watching it also. I mean, when it's calculated, you feel it. I know when it's calculated. I know when, when I see a drawing, I know if it's made with passion or, just a drawing. You feel these things. It's animal, I think. You know it. And I always very much enjoy what I do. I really do it because I feel like doing it. I mean, otherwise, why doing it at all?
For more information, you can visit these websites.
This program is brought to you by Link TV for educational and non-commercial use only. Link TV is the only US network dedicated to global and national news, uncompromising documentaries, and diverse cultural programs. Programs which connect you to the world.